Hello and welcome back to Homebrew EDH, where I take you through my personal commander decks, how they work, and how they win. This episode is Koll, the Forgemaster. It costs a red and a white for a 2/2 legendary dwarf warrior that reads whenever another non-token creature you control dies, if it was enchanted or equipped, return it to its owner's hand, and creature tokens you control that are enchanted or equipped get +1/+1. I did not take this in any predictable route, let's say. I built this entirely around one card. Reckless Crew is 3 and a red for a sorcery that reads create X 2/1 red dwarf berserker creature tokens, where X is the number of vehicles you control plus the number of equipment you control. For each of those tokens, you may attach an equipment you control to it. Building an entire deck around one sorcery that you might draw is generally not advisable unless it's like an ad nauseum deck or something of the sort. But this one I just wanted to have fun, so I built it with dwarves, vehicles, equipment, and stuff like that. So let's get into the episode. To start things off today, we need ways to ramp and ways to make dwarves because, well, we can. Ways to ramp, we've got Fire Diamond and Replicating Ring. And the main ways to make dwarves is attacking with Fearless Liberator, which is 1 and a red for a Dwarf Berserker, with Boast for 2 and a red to create a 2/1 red Dwarf Berserker creature token. So we can activate it only if this creature attacked this turn, and only once each turn. And Dwarven Reinforcements is 3 and a red for a sorcery that reads create 2/1 Dwarf Berserker creature tokens. We can foretell it for 1 and a red instead if we want to. Now we're going to want vehicles and equipment and that sort of thing for Reckless Crew to get the most value out of it. So here are a couple of vehicles that I decided to include because they did some stuff. Among others, we have Renegade Freighter, which is 3 mana for 4/3. Whenever it attacks, it gets +1/+1 against trample until end of turn. We can crew it for 2, so only tapping a single dwarf token. Conqueror's Galleon, which is 4 mana for a 2/10 vehicle, crew 4, so we'd have to tap 2 dwarf tokens to do it. But when it attacks, exile it at the end of combat, then return it to its battlefield transformed, and it turns into Conqueror's Foothold, which can tap to add a colorless. We can pay 2, tap it to draw a card, then discard. Pay 4 and tap it to draw a card, or pay 6 and tap it to return target card from our graveyard to our hand. And last but not least, we have Colossal Plow, which is 2 mana for a 6/3 vehicle. Whenever it attacks, add 3 white and regain 3 life until end of turn. We don't lose that 3 white mana as steps and phases end, and we crew it for 6, which might seem like a lot until you realize we run Giant Ox, which is probably the most useful card in the entire deck. 1 and a white for a 0/6 Ox that crews vehicles using its toughness rather than its power. Moving on to the equipment side of things, we have cards like Goldvein Pick, Nahiri Storm of Stone, and Sigiled Sword of Valoron. So Goldvein Pick is a simple 2/2 equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. Sigiled Sword of Valoron is a 3 mana equipment where the creature gets +2/+0, has vigilance, and is a knight in addition to its other types, which doesn't really matter other than the damage bonus. But whenever it attacks, to create a 2/2 white knight creature with vigilance that's attacking as well with an equip cost of 3. And Nahiri Storm of Stone is 2 and 2 hybrid Boros, so a combination of red or white or anything of the sort. That has a static ability as a 6 loyalty planeswalker that reads as long as it's your turn, creatures you control have first strike and equip abilities you activate cost 1 less to activate, potentially giving you free equip costs depending on what equipment you use. And it also has a ability with a -X that reads Nahiri Storm of Stone deals X damage to target tapped creature. And last but not least for today's episode are just some good quality of life cards to have in this kind of deck, where we're aiming to have lots and lots of creatures out, with cards like Bond of Discipline, Tuk Rubble Fort, and Dwarven Priest. Bond of Discipline taps all of the creatures our opponents control, and creatures we control gain lifelink until end of turn, enabling us to massively swing our life total. Same thing with Dwarven Priest. It's 3 and a white for a 2/4 with the life total thing. When it enters the battlefield, we gain 1 life for each creature we control. If we do it at the right time, tons of life. And Tuk Tuk Rubble Fort, 2 and a red for a 0/3 wall with Defender and Reach that just reads creatures we control have haste, which makes it all the more efficient to keep attacking. I sincerely hope you enjoyed today's episode of Homebrew EDH. If you did, go ahead and leave a like. Subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. And as always, the deck list will be in the description with all the cards I didn't include in this video. Constructive feedback and deck suggestions are always appreciated. Go ahead and leave comments. And until I see you guys in the next one, take it easy and enjoy your day.